Hello everyone, welcome back to Watcher Realms. Today is the day after we had the update. So they released a new campaign, Chapter 9. I'm sure everybody's going to want to try and get through 9-8 as quick as possible, just like I did, so that you can open up the new XP raid so that when you do farm XP, you're at least getting as much as you can for your stamina. So, of course, since, they know everyone's going to want to do that, they made Chapter 9-7 little bit of a pain. Um, so this is going to be a guide on how I was able to do it. I'm sure there's multiple ways. This seems like the cleanest way to me, and is also going to set things up, for later on if there's a hard mode. So just kind of looking at it, there's a couple things to look out for. They've got these little flying guys, lightning guards, that, as you can see, have like no defense. So marksmen just kind of tear them up. Same with the little thunder guards. They've got these little restore guys, same thing, low defense, high magic res. And then they've got these destroyers, which are, of course, the exact opposite. They don't really have much magic resistance, but they have insane defense and they hit like a truck. So, you got two different types of enemies to deal with. Some that are going to be good for mages, some that are going to be good for piercers. And then you have the boss. Now, she's fun because she is always going to attack kind of like Calypso, the last person dropped. And like it says with the Blazing Fireball, she's going to hit them 2 times and then summon a fireball. And then every time that she accumulates some, she's going to put them together and do a bigger nuke. So even if you put somebody down like a fighter or something like that, they might be able to take one hit. But if they get hit with the 4 one, they're going to die. And then the other thing that she does is, like it says, inflicts flaming rampage on 3 random targets, and then it just kind of deals magic damage. It's a small dot. It's nothing really crazy to worry about, but just something to note, of trying to keep everyone in a healer's range. And then the worst one is probably that meteoric strike. So, like it says, with each loss of 30% HP, so at 70%, 40%, and then 10%, she does a massive AoE. And basically it hits anyone within 3 tiles. So if you have like a cluster with like a tank and a couple fighters around them, maybe a couple healers, and she does that, maybe the tank lives, but everyone around them is probably going to die. So for that, I'm sure there are good ways to burn the boss down real quick. The problem is she comes out and starts walking fairly early in the fight, and she takes a long time to go around. So if you try to burn her down, there's a good chance you could get nuked. So I'm going to use this. I've got a couple tanks, couple marksmen, couple mages. Wrath and Pyros are basically just there for the Lord bonuses. And then a couple healers. So we'll go ahead and jump into it. I'll show you how I was able to do it. And, you could always do something similar, or whatever. So those first ones coming out right there are going to be the little marksman ones. They don't have a lot, so I'm going to drop a Hatsit here. You can use Hatsit, Brienne, maybe Toriel, although you'd have to be a little careful with her ult and nuking the boss. But Brienne, Silas, Calypso, probably Nyx. I mean, there's so many marksmen that would work. And then you can see those ones are coming on the right. So I'm going to drop Cetrum here, same thing. Any marksman really doesn't matter, so that I can go ahead and get that part covered. So that's going to cover these. So I've got Hatsit facing one way, Cetrum facing the next, and that should take care of those. Now the first destroyer is about to come out. Like I said, these guys hit like crazy, no fun. So I'm going to go ahead and put my Vortex down. Vortex is going to heal, of course. I'll speed this up. And then I'll put Olag down. They start moving faster once they're attacked, so that's always something to keep in mind. Got one coming out the back here, and as they come out, you can see they nuke. Hanson makes quick work of that. So now I'm kind of watching my costs because the boss is fixing to come out. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to drop Nocturne here. So I have a mage that is facing towards those destroyers. And then I'll drop another healer. So we'll drop Elwyn, that could be Hollow or whoever really, back here. And then also covering where I'm going to be putting my last tank. So Elowen's going to get nuked, and that's fine. And then I'll get Regulus out here in a minute before she builds up more stacks. So we still have one more deployable spot, but I am not planning to use it. And the reason being is if I do put out too much and I get too much damage on the boss, she will do that meteoric strike. So as you can see here, just kind of taking care of the little ones as they come through. And the boss is nuking, but as you can see, is just hitting Regulus. Regulus is the last place down. If I could have possibly fit somebody else in, but then you start running, the risk of running out of time. And then the only thing I had to watch for before was make sure I don't do too much damage once the boss comes into Nocturne's range. So as you can see here, I'm not even going to use the ultimate because I really don't want to nuke her. She's getting some splash damage from Hatsit, but that's okay. You can kind of see some different people throughout taking dot damage. That's fine. So she's at 80%, so we're okay. If it started getting under 80%, I probably would have despawned Nocturne and then waited and brought him back after she passed. But I think we're all right there. Now I can use Nocturne's ult, and that was too late. So it happens when you're on 2x speed. But you can see, like, the destroyers, once they get hit by a mage, they go down pretty quick. They hit really hard, but they don't have a ton of HP, and obviously magic damage just destroys them. So I just keep randomly kind of throwing out heals, making sure I keep everybody up. So we're at 18 now. A couple more little waves. As you can see, it's not the fastest fight in the world, but to me, I found patience to be key on this fight and making sure that I didn't get absolutely destroyed. I tried burning down the boss like as she came through, and I can never get enough people down and in the right spots where they weren't too close. Maybe with like 3 healers and spacing people out, you might be able to kind of get away with that. I haven't tried it. So now I'm waiting. I think there's one more destroyer that's going to come through on the right side. Or maybe not. I guess these are the last 3. So once these kind of go down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and despawn my damage because I do not want them to push the boss into that 70% range yet. And we're just going to wait here for a second for the respawns. As you can see, all I've got up right now is just a tank and a healer, and that's fine. So now we've got Oleg back up. Doesn't really matter which tanks you use for this, I don't think. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop some DPS. And then I'm going to drop Oleg last over here. That way when the boss hits those markers, you're going to see Oleg is going to get nuked. But obviously he's just kind of standing over there by himself shielding. So that was the 70% nuke. Then we'll have another one here in a second. You could put down more damage, but I was just kind of being safe and then also didn't feel like having to put down 4 or 5 people and then get to Olag. And so he's over there by himself, so you can see how big the AoE is on that nuke. But of course, since he's just shielding, he can take it. It's no problem. Boss goes down, and that's it. That's the way that I chose to do it. Like I said, I'm sure there's multiple ways that you could do it, but that one seemed to work the cleanest. And that is all. So, of course, once you get that done, you can go ahead and do your 9-8 and open up your new XP raid. It is expensive. It is 50 per, but you do get whatever it is, 20,000, which I can't remember what the other one is. So that is all for today. If anyone is stuck on 9-7, I hope that helps you out and you're able to clear it. Hope, happy farming.